So I stood up and she said, quote, "You can go ahead and drop that gown." It's the only thing I had. And so I had to drop my gown and go in the bathroom and stand there naked and wait on her.
Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Well, good morning, Transplant Helper community. My name is Jim Burrell, and I'm excited to be home in my backyard right now. About to go for a little bit of a walk. It may not be my first big test, if you will, but I promise you it's going to be something that's really going to try me a little bit so that I can decide how well this TAVR procedure has worked. Now, before we go and do that, let me say that most of you who saw my last real official update, I think it was something like update number 2, you probably noticed then that I made mention that I was just in a few minutes then coming home. Ultimately, I did not come home till the next day. I had a little bit of a setback, really bad dizzy spell, high heart rate, high blood pressure. Not exactly sure what that was attributed to, other than maybe just being very dehydrated at the time. Now, just give me a huge dose of Lasix, which personally, I know my doctor decided that I actually needed, and so it probably caused me a little bit of problem. But anyway, went on, stayed another night, felt a little more secure and safe in doing that. Made it home on yesterday, and today has been okay. It's Monday. I guess this will be maybe day 4 or something post TAVR. I'm doing pretty well. I'm not sure that I'm where I want to be yet. Obviously, they expect this recovery to take 2, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, something like that, but I'm at least able to do something. So here I am outside enjoying the birds, enjoying the sunshine, just being me, being able to do what I want to do. So we're going to walk a little bit. I can already tell you right now before I go any farther, not quite at the breath level I want to be, but I'm going to get there. I will tell you that I feel much better already, so the TAVR procedure has been a success. The doctors are really excited about it. I go back on Wednesday for a little post-op blood work just to check a few things, make sure my platelets aren't low. Just one of the precautions they take based upon having the TAVR itself. So we're going to go ahead and turn around and at least start our walk up the hill right here. I apologize if the camera angle changes a lot. I'll be walking kind of up an incline on some rough ground, and obviously the light's moving around today. It's a cloudy day here. Actually, I think it's going to rain a little bit, which is fine with us. We've been enjoying our little bouts of rain here and there. Now, hopefully, unlike the other day, I won't run into a spider web up here. Some of you remember that from kind of my pre-TAVR procedure evaluation video. Hopefully the spiders are all gone. I don't do well with spiders. Comment below in this in the description or in the comment section if you enjoy having spider webs wrapped around your head, or if you don't, tell your funny stories about it. But anyway, let me take a deep breath and get ready to just kind of step out here into the field behind the backyard, and I'll just kind of spin you around for a second before we move any farther. Kind of spin you around a little bit, and if you can see behind me or around my face, you can see we're in a beautiful place. Right here is my hometown. Nothing but an old country place, and so we'll just kind of start walking up the same hill. Again, don't be surprised if I do this again in a couple of weeks, because I'm trying to measure myself. I'm trying to see how I'm doing, and honestly, it's just good to be out here. Like I say, probably not 100% on breath, probably not even as good as I was the other day, to be honest, because I'm recovering. As far as nicks and bruises, I've got them. They cut me on both sides of my groin, so a little uncomfortable there, about 3/4 inch long cuts. Not a lot of fun. They glued those back together though, so I'm not dealing with stitches or anything like that. And ended up with a whole pile of IVs. I think between IVs and blood draws, maybe 10 or 12 sticks, some of which didn't go well. My right, this is the right, my right wrist is not feeling too good. It kind of got infiltrated a little bit, but dealt with it before. Part of the worst thing, however, though, is not anyone's fault. I'm allergic to tape and adhesive. And so some of the defibrillator pads they put on me, they were huge, like 4-inch by 6-inch defibrillator pads they put on my back. I only stayed on there 24 hours, but because I'm overly sensitive to the adhesive itself, that rubberized stuff, you know, it's awful. When they went to pull them off, it kind of pulled skin, meat, and everything. So a lot of pain right there on both sides of my kind of back rib cage. based on that, really. It's, you know, did a little bit of damage. I'm having to treat that very gingerly to try to work things out. But I'll tell you this, I'm here. I'm about as far as I was the other day. I'll spin around and show you. About as far as I was the other day. So there's the barn and the hills in the background. I feel probably better, actually. Probably better. I may not sound as good. They also put a tube down my throat, not for just breathing though. They actually ran a scope down my throat to help track the placement of the valve and stuff. That's just a new part of the procedure they decided to do on me. Again, I was kind of an experimental case to be a transplant as well as have this procedure done. So they did a few things that were new, and that gives you that, felt like you swallowed a Brillo pad feeling. And so my voice is not 100%. It's a little bit weak from that. But anyway, I'm happy to be, let's count it out. Let's see, Thursday, Friday, well, procedure done on Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, today is Monday, 4 days post TAVR. And I'm up walking around. Very excited. I think it's going to be very, very worth it. So I'll be giving you some updates, let you know how things go throughout the next few weeks, and give you some, you know, some tips and tools. I learned a few things the hard way. One of the things I learned years ago, and I'm being somewhat funny about this, when you go in for a cath or a procedure, especially in your groin, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to prep before you go. And if you've ever had one done, you know what I'm talking about. They like you to be shaven, hairless at that point. Well, I prepped for the procedure the other day, pretty much like I always do, which, because I'm allergic to tape, I shave my arms, at least parts of my arms where I know I'm going to have tapes, IVs. I shave my chest. Of course, I shave my groin area. I had shaved all the way down to my knees the other day, thinking that would be overkill, but I did it anyway. And when I got into the hospital and got there going into pre-op, the doctors actually said, well, we'll send somebody in to get you ready and whatever. Well, this older lady came in, very nice lady. That's the good part of the story. Older lady came in and she said, well, I'll just look. If you've already prepped, I'll just look. We'll see, you know, what we have, and we'll get you ready for surgery like Dr. Davies likes it. Well, she peeked under the cover and she said, oh no, that won't do. She said, he likes you to be shaven from your neck to your toes, and no hair on the legs, front or back. So I knew I had a lot of work to do. I hadn't done all of that, especially like the back, you know, and nothing below my knees. I didn't want my legs shaved. I'm a dude, come on. Well, she proceeded to go get a little clipper razor. You know, you've seen those, the surgical razors. She went to get that, came back in the room, took the blanket I had on me, which they had already told me to take off all my clothes and put on a gown and cover it with a blanket. She took the blanket off and my gown off and tossed it in the floor. Now you fill in the blanks. I'm completely bare now, and she's standing over me and she shaves me for like 45 minutes to an hour. And it was not comfortable. You know, all dignity is lost. As a matter of fact, I told her in a few minutes, I said, you didn't leave me anything, did you? She said, no, I cleaned you up. You're clear now. Dr. Davies will be happy. Well, a few minutes later, she just finished up, really. She had handed me my gown back. So I had my gown back over me, at least to, you know, cover me. And was a little bit less, I don't know what you call it, embarrassed by that. And so she took and said, if you will just stand up and move toward the bathroom, we now have to wipe you down with these antiseptic wipes. So if you'll go in there, I'll help you wipe down. So I was like, I wish I could do it by myself, but she was saying she was coming with me. So I stood up and she said, quote, you can go ahead and drop that gown. It's the only thing I had. And so I had to drop my gown and go in the bathroom and stand there naked and wait on her. And she came in there, and of course we worked together and we wiped everything down. So that's probably my new most embarrassing moment, if you will, shared right here at the tail end of this video. But I'll tell you what, I do encourage you, if you're going to go in for a procedure, do your own prep. That's the number one key. But make sure you know what that prep is and how extensive that prep may be, because they may be expecting a whole lot more out of you than you out of them. So that's probably my tip of the day. Do your own prep, but anyway, in all said and done, I'm improving every day. I'm happy to be back at home. I'm happy to be, healing up, and I'm happy to have had this procedure, and I look forward to the great future it provides me. Thank you so much, folks. I'll put some videos on around me somewhere here so you can check out other videos related to these updates and such. And just thank you for watching, and each of you, I love you. Keep on keeping on and stay stronger, friends.